Police throw Joker's evidence on the floor. What happened next left the judge frozen. They cuffed him like a monster and tossed his life onto the courtroom floor. Files, photos, a single red-stained business card that might as well have been a verdict. The judge bent forward, eyes widening, because what lay beneath those scattered pages wasn't the messy confession the police wanted. It was a map of betrayal, faces in ink, and a name that made the city's richest tremble. For everyone who'd ever called him a clown, tonight he would show them the logic of laughter and the cost of silence. If you want the whole truth, the revenge that reads like poetry, and the twist that will freeze the judge's heart, hit subscribe and stay with us. The courtroom smelled of old wood and older secrets, the kind that rot beneath polished floors and official smiles. Officers stood stiff along the walls, pretending they didn't see the mess they'd made when they threw Joker's evidence across the ground. Papers slid like wounded birds, scattering truths nobody wanted to look at. But Joker, he simply watched from the defense table, chin tilted, eyes shimmering with that dangerous calm, the kind you only see in a man who has already accepted the worst and discovered something darker beneath it. The judge cleared his throat, his hand trembling as he reached for the topmost sheet. A silent shiver passed through the room. People assumed the Joker was trembling too, but they didn't understand. He was savoring this moment, letting it burn slowly like a match pressed to gasoline. "You brought this as evidence?" the judge asked, voice barely holding itself steady. A grin tugged at Joker's lips, soft, almost polite. "You threw it. I only brought the truth." There was nothing exaggerated about this Joker, no grand theatrics, no chaotic screaming. He looked tired, bruised, stitched along his jawline where the city had tried to silence him. Yet his eyes glowed with a quiet fire, the kind that comes only from a man betrayed by the system he tried, foolishly, to trust. Because this time, Joker wasn't accused of causing chaos. He was accused of stopping it. The judge lifted another paper, a photo of a man held at gunpoint, wealthy, frightened, face half hidden by shadows. Another sheet revealed bank transfers, millions moving between hands that preached justice on the evening news. The more the judge read, the more his fingers tightened. A murmur spread in the court like the slow crawl of a storm. Everyone had heard rumors about corruption in the city's elite, but nobody expected Joker, the notorious clown-faced criminal, to be the one exposing it. It was easier to call him crazy than to admit he might be right. The prosecutor slammed his palm on the table. "Your Honor, this is manipulation, fabricated files." Joker chuckled softly, leaning forward. "You should have at least checked the dates before calling them fake. You people cover your tracks about as well as you handle fear." "Silence!" the prosecutor barked, but the judge did not echo him. He adjusted his glasses instead, scanning the documents with a growing horror. Every page held something bigger, a network of names, hidden operations, bribes disguised as charity, and a trail of bodies ruled as accidents. And then came the letter. The judge froze as he read the signature at the bottom, his face draining so quickly it looked like someone had pulled the color out of him with invisible fingers. Joker watched, smiling without joy. "Ah, you found the part they wanted me dead for." The prosecutor lunged forward. "Your Honor, these papers were planted. The defendant—" Joker's laughter cut through the tension like a blade, not loud, but low, hollow, almost sad. "If I planted them," he murmured, "then why is your signature on page 6? The courtroom fell silent. All eyes shifted to the prosecutor. His face crumbled. Sweat slid down his temples. He grabbed the nearest officer's shoulder as if needing support. The officer stepped away. The judge swallowed hard, turning his gaze to Joker. You claim you were attacked?" Joker's smile faded, replaced by something darker, a flicker of pain. "Not attacked. Eliminated. Tried to be." He lifted a trembling hand to the stitches on his jaw. They thought they'd killed the clown, buried him in the alley, but someone dragged me out before the rats finished the job. "Who?" a woman from the gallery gasped. Joker's eyes softened, almost fragile for a split second. Someone who knew the city needed a monster who wasn't on their payroll. He nodded at the evidence on the floor. I didn't come here to save myself. I came to burn their lies publicly. The judge inhaled sharply, palms sweating as he flipped through the remaining pages. Then he froze again, staring at one final sheet, a list of future targets. And the first name was his own. Your Honor, Joker said quietly, they were planning to replace you with someone more manageable. A bolt of fear ran through the room. The prosecutor suddenly bolted toward the exit, shoving past the officers. But before anyone could react, Joker's voice slithered across the courtroom, calm, eerie, prophetic. Running won't help you. The truth has longer legs. Everyone turned to Joker, but he wasn't looking at the prosecutor. He was staring at the judge. And the judge was staring at Joker with a silent plea, the kind a man only makes when he realizes the system he serves has already written his obituary. Then Joker leaned back, folds of his coat shifting as he lifted something from beneath the table, a small black device. The courtroom gasped. Relax, Joker whispered. It's not a bomb. He pressed a button. The lights flickered once, not enough to frighten, but enough to expose something hidden behind the judge's seat. A camera, red light blinking, recording. Everyone froze. The judge slowly turned, pale as ash, realizing the entire trial, every lie, every moment of panic, was being live-streamed to the entire city. And Joker smiled gently. The live stream counter blinked in the corner of the judge's monitor. 3,200 viewers, then 9,000, then 22,000. Within seconds, the entire city was watching the courtroom as if it were a public execution, unsure whether the man on trial was the executioner or the savior. The judge's hands trembled uncontrollably. His voice cracked as he whispered, You broadcasted this." Joker tilted his head like a curious child. The city deserved front row seats. They've applauded lies for years. It's time they watched the truth take the stage. Officers swarmed the courtroom doors, radio chatter erupting in panicked bursts. They couldn't shut the stream down. Joker had disabled the building's network minutes before walking in. Every exit was locked, not by force but by embarrassment. Each officer unsure whether they were part of justice or part of the corruption Joker had exposed. The prosecutor, who had tried to flee moments earlier, was now held at gunpoint by two officers who had decided they were done protecting a traitor. He shook violently, stuttering, I only did what I was ordered to." Joker stood, slowly, carefully, like a man rising from a grave he no longer feared. "Everyone does what they're ordered to," he said, walking toward the prosecutor. "Some sell justice, some bury it, and some," he tapped his own chest, "dig it back up." The courtroom watched as he approached the fallen man. Joker didn't hit him, didn't threaten him physically. He simply crouched down so their eyes were level. "Tell them," Joker murmured. "Tell the city who paid you to bury my evidence." The prosecutor shook his head violently. No, if I speak, they'll kill me." Joker leaned closer, lowering his voice to a whisper that echoed anyway. "If you stay silent, I might." A strangled cry escaped the prosecutor's throat. He looked at the judge, at the cameras, at the officers circling like vultures. And then the dam broke. It was the Councilman Darius Rowan. He ordered everything, the staged murder attempt, the false charges, the cover-up. He said Joker knew too much, that he had to be erased. A murmur exploded across the courtroom and the live stream alike. Comments flooded the judge's screen. Disbelief, rage, shock. Rowan was beloved, respected, untouchable. Joker stood, brushing imaginary dust from his sleeve. Ah, honesty. See? It wasn't so hard. The judge gripped his gavel tightly. "Bailiffs, bring Councilman Rowan here at once. Issue a warrant." A loud crack interrupted him, not from a gun. From the judge's desk monitor, a new video started playing automatically, a live feed, but not from inside the courtroom. It was a view of a penthouse office high above the city, wrapped in warm golden light. A man in a crisp suit stood by the window, swirling a glass of wine. The live stream viewers recognized him instantly, Councilman Darius Rowan, and Rowan was smiling. "Well done, Joker," Rowan said directly into the camera, as if he could see into the courtroom. "You always did know how to put on a show." The judge froze. Joker's smile faded. The officers stepped back instinctively. Rowan continued, pacing slowly. "I knew you'd try to expose me, so I prepared my own broadcast. Fair is fair, isn't it?" He stopped walking. "Unfortunately, I can't let you win." He raised a device almost identical to the one Joker had used earlier, a remote. Joker's eyes widened. "Oh, don't worry," Rowan said softly. "It's not a bomb." He pressed the button. The courthouse shook. Lights flickered, walls quivered, dust rained from above as the floor trembled like something buried beneath it had been awakened. Screams erupted. Officers grabbed witnesses, pulling them toward the walls. The judge ducked behind the bench. The prosecutor collapsed, sobbing. Joker simply stood there, silent, perfectly still, because he recognized that sound. Not an explosion, not destruction, movement. Something mechanical, something rising. A low grinding noise grew louder, echoing through the building's bones. And then, from beneath the courtroom floor, the tiles shifted. A rectangular section sank downward, revealing a hidden elevator platform slowly ascending. And on that platform was a box. Heavy, metallic, government-marked. Joker's face changed, not with fear, but with recognition. Rowan's voice crackled through the speakers. "If you insist on playing hero, Joker, then meet the monster you helped create." The metallic box thudded into place. Officers aimed their guns. The judge trembled from behind his bench. The live stream chat exploded with panic. Joker stepped forward, staring at the box like he'd seen a ghost. "No," he whispered. "You didn't." Rowan laughed. "Oh, I did." With a metallic hiss, the box door slowly creaked open. A pale hand slid out. Thin, scarred, very human. Joker took a single step back, the first time in the entire trial he'd retreated. Rowan's voice softened on the speakers. "Meet the one survivor of your old chaos. The one you thought died in the fire. The one who's been waiting for you." The door swung fully open, and a figure stepped forward, shackles rattling. Face burned, eyes haunted. A face Joker once knew. A face Joker once failed. "Hello, brother," the figure whispered. The courtroom gasped. The live stream froze, and Joker's smile shattered. If you want more dark, emotional stories like this, where truth cuts deeper than chaos, make sure to subscribe. More twists, more mysteries, more shadows await.